Hello and welcome to Jesus Stew. It's good for you. Okay, so let's start with the ingredients. We have celery, about a pound of it. We also have an onion, carrots, we're going to use maybe half that many, about a pound of broccoli. We've got a single medium-sized potato. We've got 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds of stew meat. This is a little over 2 pounds. You can adjust that any way you want. We have zucchini. If they're large zucchini, 2 will do. This is 3. We have a 10-ounce package of spinach. We use about half of that. 12-ounce package of green beans. I use the frozen ones because they're cut and easy to work with. We have Pace picante sauce. It's mild. We have 28-ounce diced tomatoes and 6-ounce tomato paste. Okay, let's not forget the spices. We have Mrs. Dash, some cayenne pepper, a salt grinder, and a pepper grinder. Missing from this picture is the onion powder, but we use that as well. Okay, now for this recipe, we're going to use this Instant Pot, but you can use a slow cooker if you'd like. The Instant Pot is a little faster, but the slow cooker works just as well. Okay, so we're going to start with the slow cooker recipe. It's exactly the same as the Instant Pot. The only difference is you put everything in at once. So you're going to start with the diced tomatoes. You are then going to add all the spices. There are 2.5 tablespoons of Mrs. Dash. There is 1 tablespoon of onion powder, about 16 grinds on the salt grinder, and about the same number on the pepper grinder. And then you'll just put in a dash of cayenne pepper. You will now add 1 cup of the Pace picante sauce. Go ahead and stir it all together, and it should look about like this. You are then going to cut up your meat and brown it. I prefer smaller pieces, maybe 1/2 to 3/4 inch size cubes. Add the meat to the mixture that's in the crock pot. Give it a little bit of a stir. You're going to want to cut up and brown your onion. Now this is a lot more onion. This was actually for 2 crock pots, so you'll use about half this much. Go ahead and add the onion and give that a stir. Next you will add the zucchini. It's about 3 small zucchinis or maybe 2 larger zucchinis. You will add the green beans. As you can see, these are frozen cut green beans. You can add your spinach. Now you can mix this up. It tends to break down a little bit so it's not so bulky in the pot. The celery is added next. You'll add about 1/2 pound of carrots. Next goes in a cut up medium potato. Now these are frozen broccoli crowns, which I used in this particular instance, but I would not recommend them. They get a little mushy as they cook in a slow cooker, so I use fresh now. You're going to set your slow cooker on high and give it about 5 to 6 hours. The vegetables in a slow cooker are going to be a little softer, so you may have to experiment with the times to get one you like. This is what it's going to look like when it's done though. Okay, let's move to the Instant Pot version. You're going to go ahead and start with your diced tomatoes. Add the picante sauce, the tomato paste, and all the spices. I turned on the pot to get it warmed up while I was adding the ingredients. Give everything a quick stir. You'll probably need to cut up the stew meat a little bit more, so it's about 1/2 to 3/4 inch cubes. Before adding the stew meat, brown it for about 30 seconds in a hot pan. Okay, once you've added your meat, you'll give it a quick stir, and then you're going to go ahead and cook for 35 minutes on high pressure. Okay, an important note, this little float valve to the right needs to be up and locked, otherwise it's not cooking under pressure. When you turn your pot on, it warms up. I started mine early so it'd get warm faster, but about the time the countdown timer on the front starts, or within the first couple minutes of it, that little float valve should be popped up and locked. Otherwise, you're going to need to restart your pot, restart the timer, or adjust your lid to make sure you're cooking under pressure. Okay, while the meat is cooking, we'll start with the veggies. First, we chop up the celery. It's about 1 pound. Next, we add the zucchini. Next is broccoli. Next, add the spinach and the carrots. You only want about 1/2 pound of carrot. Add the frozen beans. Give everything a good stir. Cut up and add your potato to the top. Don't forget to dice and brown your onion. I found it's much easier to use a large mixing bowl to combine all your cut up vegetables. Put them all in there, give them a little bit of a stir, and they're ready to be added to the Instant Pot. Once the timer's done, you'll do a quick pressure release. It takes about 3 minutes to release all the pressure. Take the top off and your meat is done and you are ready for step 2. Add your onion. Give everything a little bit of a stir. Okay, now it's time to add the vegetables. You're going to want to add them in by handfuls. Don't worry about stirring it all together. Just put them in the pot, press them down until you reach about this max line on the top. You may or may not use all your veggies. Just fill it up to this max line. Okay, with the pot full, and this is probably as full as I would want to go, you're going to set the pot for 30 minutes, high pressure, and get that lid on there and make sure it cooks under high pressure the full 30 minutes. While you're waiting, I've started using a couple cookie sheets that I spread the stew out on once it's done cooking. It cools it down really fast within about 30 or 35 minutes, then it's ready to go into the fridge. Otherwise, you could wait a long time for that pot to cool down. Okay, once it's cooked for 30 minutes and you did a quick release on the pressure valve, you're ready to take the lid off and everything should be cooked and ready to go. And there you have it. It's going to look like there's a lot of liquid, but once you get everything stirred, it's going to look great. Okay, and after a quick stir, everything looks good. This cooked for 30 minutes on high pressure. You can adjust the time a little lower if you'd prefer the vegetables firmer, or you could adjust it up if you'd like them a little softer, but I think 30 minutes is just about right. Okay, I've taken the stew out and I've spread it over the 2 cookie sheets. This will only take about 30 or 40 minutes to cool off, then it will be ready to be packed up and put in the refrigerator. And here is the final product. Thanks for watching. If you do make Jesus stew, please post a comment on our Facebook page and let us know how it turned out. If you have any hints, tips, or tricks, share those as well.